All right, Daniel, move-in week is officially here for our local college students, and you can feel the energy that just shifts in town when that happens. Campus parking lots packed with cars. Downtown, where I work is just full of people, and parents are helping haul mini fridges, 3 flights of stairs, campus bookstores flooded with people. So much happening.
And it is absolutely a massive milestone week. Nothing quite like the mix of pure excitement and nerves when you walk into a dorm room for the very first time. You're finally out on your own, stepping into a world of what you think is complete freedom.
I remember that feeling as a freshman in college. It's such an incredible feeling. But right alongside all of that new personal independence comes a sudden, very real wave of financial independence. So for a lot of these students, this is the exact moment where they go from asking a parent for permission to spend money to kind of being entirely responsible for a fixed pool of cash that has to stretch over several months.
And we all know that transition can hit you like a brick wall if you're not ready for it. It's so easy to feel rich during the first week of September when a student loan or savings balance lands in your account. But if you don't know exactly how to pace yourself, that money can vanish incredibly fast, leading to a very stressful situation by the time October rolls around.
You couldn't be more right. And so managing a fixed bucket of money is easily the biggest challenge a young adult faces. But it's also the absolute best training ground for life after graduation. So today we're going to break that down with the reality of college, cash flow, and budgeting, navigating the common traps like eating out and campus card slips, and sharing a simple strategy to ensure your money lasts all semester long.
Welcome back to Making Sense of Your Sense. I'm Daniel Hill.
And I'm Shanna Browning. And so today, college life, independence for students. So we're going to explore the kind of ultimate survival guide for young adults taking charge of their first real-world budget, comparing campus dining plans to grocery realities, and looking at how a strict weekly limit can really protect your savings baseline. So whether you're a college student yourself and you're listening, or you're a parent sending one off to campus, we're going to give you an essential playbook.
And so, Shanna, let's dig into this concept of managing a finite budget of money, because this is really a psychological shift for a 19 or 20-year-old. When a student receives a chunk of money for their semester, whether it's from a summer job, a family contribution, or student loan balance, why is it so dangerous to look at that total number as a big pile of cash?
Well, because the human brain struggles to connect a large lump sum today with a boring daily expense 3 months from now. So our brain doesn't know how to comprehend that. So if a student logs into their mobile banking app and sees $3,000 sitting there, their immediate reaction is, wow, holy crap, I have a lot of money. So they feel a false sense of financial security in that moment.
Right. And they look at that big number and assume they can afford a $50 dinner out with friends or a new outfit because it barely makes a dent in that $3,000 balance.
That's right. But they fail to realize that $3,000 isn't spending money for this weekend. It's fuel for the next 16 weeks. It has to cover books, gas, laundry, groceries, and weekend fun all the way up until winter break. So if you just chip away at it passively without a roadmap, you're going to experience a massive budget crash before midterms even hit.
And this is why we call it the finite budget mindset. Every dollar you take out of that pool today is a dollar that cannot help you in November. Learning to pace that bucket is the most important financial habit a student can develop. It shifts your perspective from, look at what I have right now, to how do I stretch this resource to cover the entire timeline smoothly?
Well, and it's about building that tracking habit early. So when you learn to manage a small limited pool of cash in a college apartment, you are building the exact muscle memory you need to handle a full professional salary, a rent payment, a mortgage, a retirement savings after you graduate. College is really the ultimate low stakes practice field for your financial life and future.
Absolutely. And let's talk about one of the fastest ways a college student can accidentally drain their budget pool, and that's food. Most schools require or offer prepaid dining hall meal plans, especially for freshmen living on campus. But how do students routinely mismanage this asset?
Well, so I think the biggest mistake is letting your prepaid meal plan go to waste while your actual cash to eat out at a local fast food spot or delivery straight to your dorm room. I think parents or student loans often pay thousands of dollars up front for those campus dining hall swaps. So if you skip those meals because you're tired of the cafeteria options, you're essentially doubling your payment for food.
And that is an incredibly expensive habit. Every
Expensive.
every time you order a $15 delivery meal, while you have a prepaid swipe sitting on your student ID card, you're throwing money straight into the trash.
I mean, you are. You have to treat your meal plan like gold. It is a completely covered resource. And it's a great baseline rule is to challenge yourself to at least 80 or 90% of your meals through that campus plan that's already covered. Save eating out with friends for a special planned treat rather than a daily default habit.
Now, what about the older students who move off campus into an apartment and have to handle their own grocery shopping for the first time? That's another major transition point.
Well, now they're in our world, right? We don't have a meal plan.
Right.
So grocery shopping can really catch you by surprise. So students often walk down the aisles without a plan, grab whatever looks good in the moment, and end up with a cart full of either processed snacks or expensive convenience food that really don't actually offer any form of a meal. And then half of it spoils in the fridge before they even eat it.
So what strategy do you recommend to keep that grocery bill under control?
Well, I think like you and I would do with our own stuff, it's you shop with a targeted list and you focus on the staple items that are inexpensive and versatile. Things like rice or beans, eggs, toast, chicken. Take 20 minutes to map out 3 simple meals you know how to cook for the week before you walk into the store. And by shopping intentionally and reducing your reliance on convenient packaging, you can really keep your food cost incredibly smooth and manageable.
Hey everyone, Daniel here, stepping in for just a quick second. When we started making sense of your sense, we had one simple goal: to take the confusion out of everyday finances. We believe that financial education shouldn't be locked behind fancy jargon or expensive consultants. It should be practical, accessible, and easy to understand for everyone. If you've learned something valuable from our show, maybe a tip that saved you a few bucks or a concept that, just finally clicked, do us a huge favor and share that episode with a friend or family member. True wealth is built when we all learn and grow together. Thanks for being a part of this community. Now, let's get back to the show. So let's pivot to the core defense strategy that keeps a student's budget safe for the entire semester. We call it the weekly limit defense, and it completely removes the guesswork from daily spending. So how do we set up this system?
Well, so Daniel, to just beat the confusion of a big lump sum balance, you got to break that massive bucket down into small, weekly, bite-sized pieces. So take your total available spending money for the semester, after your tuition, after your housing and books are completely taken care of, and then divide that number by the total weeks of the school term.
So let's use easy numbers. If you have $1,600 left over for general spending across a 16-week semester, that breaks down to exactly $100 a week.
That's right. $100 is in your hand, non-negotiable weekly limit. It's your allowance, right? That is your entire world for the next 7 days. It's got to cover your gas, your snacks, coffee runs, and any weekend entertainment that you have coming up.
And how should a student actually manage that $100 during the week so they don't accidentally overspend using a plastic debit card?
Well, I think the most effective trick for beginners is to use cash. Yeah, cash is still around, still going to be around, so use cash. Or a separate, dedicated checking account just for your fun money. On Monday morning, move exactly $100 into that separate pool or pull out 5 $20 bills from the ATM. And once that cash is gone, your spending is shut down until Monday rolls around.
It creates an immediate physical boundary. If it's Friday night and you only have $15 left in your wallet, you instantly know that you can't afford a movie ticket and pizza. You have to find a free campus activity or hang out in the dorm lounges instead. It forces you to make conscious trade-offs in real time.
Well, it also eliminates any of the mystery, right? You don't have to constantly log into your main savings app and try to calculate if a $20 purchase will hurt your ability to buy books in November. You just look at it as a weekly wallet balance. It's a simple, highly visual strategy that builds discipline while still giving you the freedom to enjoy your campus life within some safe boundaries. So, Daniel, as you know, topics always draw a lot of interest from families in our area, and we get great discussions around how to navigate social pressures when everyone else seems to be out spending money constantly. So let's talk for a second. How does that student stick to a budget without really feeling left out?
Well, this is a major hurdle that has to be crossed. Peer pressure on a college campus is very real. You look around and you see people driving new cars, wearing trendy clothes, or constantly going out to expensive spots. And it's incredibly easy to assume that everyone else has an endless supply of cash. And you start to feel like you need to match that lifestyle just to fit in.
But sometimes that reality behind the scenes is usually very different, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Most of the time, that lifestyle, as opulent and wonderful as it may sound, is really being funded by high interest credit card debt or massive student loan over borrowing that those students will be paying off for decades. Let me say that again, decades after graduation. You cannot compare your real budget baseline with someone's financial illusion. And that's exactly what it is. It's an illusion.
That's
Be
right.
confident in your own lane. Real friends don't care how much money you spend. They just want to hang out.
Such a point. It's just such an important reminder. And even for us at this stage of our life, right? Still a reminder.
Yeah.
Sometimes our friends or family may be going out and we can't. So it's still a good reminder from that perspective too. So let's talk about the logistics of kind of finding some extra income while you're trying to balance a tough class schedule. Is there a part-time campus job? Is that a good move for a student?
Well, a part-time job can be a massive win, but provided it doesn't hurt your academic progress. I mean, why are you there? Why are you at school? It's to get an education.
Yep.
It's not to work a job. So look for on-campus positions like working at the library desk, the student recreation center, or an academic computer lab. These university jobs are fantastic because they're specifically designed around a student's schedule. They understand that finals week is hectic and they will easily flex your hours so your education always remains your number one priority. Plus, that steady weekly paycheck gives you an immediate boost to your spending budget.
I mean, let's be honest. We've all had side hustles, right?
Absolutely.
Sell your clothes, sell shoes. I mean, there's consignment stores all the time looking for things.
Absolutely.
Find the side hustle.
Absolutely. Any little bit that you can inject into your spending budget is going to make you feel a little bit more independent and have that freedom.
Absolutely.
Such practical guides for setting our student community on a solid foundation. So, like we always do, let's pass on our clear assignment, our actionable tip for our opening week of this semester.
All right, y'all, here it is, the weekly limit. Set a hard, fun money cash limit to avoid being broke by mid-semester.
Sometime before your classes officially pick up this coming week, sit down with a piece of paper and write down the total amount of money you have available for the semester. Divide that number by 16 or how many ever weeks that you have to find your exact weekly allowance.
And once you have that hard number, then commit to tracking it strictly using cash or a whole separate spending wallet. Stick to that boundary for the first 7 days of school. Learning to master that small weekly baseline today will protect you, your savings pool, and keep your income and your cash flow perfectly stable. And it's going to give you complete control over a path toward a successful semester, right? So we're stressed anyway with school, right? Mm-hmm. This doesn't need to be stressed either. So I think when we look at this, I think it's helping a student take real charge of their first budget is such an exciting milestone. It just turns a standard checking account into a major tool for personal growth, and I love that.
It completely changes their trajectory. When a young adult learns to outsmart a temporary temptation and manage a timeline efficiently, they're building a level of confidence that will serve them for the rest of their career.
And I love that. I just couldn't agree more. And we, again, love being a part of your weekly routine. So again, take a look at your semester tracking numbers over the next few days, set that weekly spending boundary, and enjoy a phenomenal opening week on campus.
Absolutely. And looking ahead to next Tuesday, we're moving straight into a fantastic episode focusing on our local business community, growing your local business. We're going to be joined by a great local entrepreneur, Zach Roskop from Fred's Around the Corner, and we're going to discuss why community presence and relationship building serve as the true engine of business growth. Enjoy your week. Stay safe out there, and until next Tuesday, go out and make some sense of your sense.